Do you often feel that you are in a positive bubble? You're doing your affirmations, you're going in a very positive thinking, positive conscious path, but then your friends and family are on the other side of the spectrum where they are completely drenched in negativity, negative media, discussing politics, getting into a lot of arguments, complaining, condemning, criticizing, and then they want to take you from where you are because they label you as weird and tell you that's not realistic where you're at, and they try to bring you to this level. If you've ever been there and you want to know how to deal with unconscious people and unconscious friends and family, negative friends and family, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome. My name is Kartika Nair and you're watching Synchro Shakti. So, have I dealt with unconscious negative people? Firstly, yes, every one of us who's going through any form of a spiritual journey is going to always find this divide between you, who's trying to create a more conscious world. You're very conscious about what you think, about what you consume, you want to stay in a positive bubble, and the rest of the world that's living in ground reality, right? And that's going to happen to each person. It's happened to me, it's happened to everybody. So how do we deal with this? So there are three major things to remember. The first one is, do not create a spiritual ego about yourself by saying, I am so conscious, I'm so spiritual, I'm so awakened, I'm so woke, but these people, they're so unconscious, they're so unevolved. Do not judge these people. They're perfect exactly where they're meant to be in their evolutionary cycle. Okay, so don't put this big separation between you and everybody else by saying I'm so great and they're not. So that's called a spiritual ego. Drop your ego. Learn to love people exactly where they are at. Okay, this will release suffering from you and bring you to a place of actually appreciating them exactly where they are. So this brings me to point number 2. Each person is in their own evolutionary journey. They have their own alarm clock. You know, back in college, I knew a lot of my classmates who have never cracked open a book on spirituality. You cannot even imagine, I could not imagine in billions of lifetimes I would ever be interested in this field. But somehow after college, few years down the line, many of these people have started on a very deep spiritual path. Some of them who never even cracked open a regular book ever. These people are reading the most deep spiritual books, spiritual training books that take so much of mental power to understand. It blows your mind how people's journeys unfold. So just because someone might seem like they would never in a billion years awaken to a spiritual path does not mean that they will not, because the timeline for each person, the alarm clock for each person is determined by their soul's journey, their higher self, their guidance, their life itself will guide them to awaken. It is not our job to tell them what to do. It is not our job to train them or teach them or tell them they're doing anything wrong. It is not our job. What our job is to focus on us, which means you lead by example. When you are such a shining example of what positive thinking, mental attitude, healthy, happy, conscious life looks like, then it will catch people's eyes and they will come to you and ask you, what is your secret? And then you can teach them when they come to you. But if they don't come to you, you still focus only on yourself. Which brings me to point number 3. Eckhart Tolle says that in any situation, you always have 3 options. Option number 1 is accept it as perfect. Okay, if there is any disturbance that's in you when other people go into this negative trip, that's your work to do. Nobody tells you how to feel. If you're beginning to feel really upset, because even if you're an empath and you're soaking it in, I'm an empath, I'm a very, very heavy empath, but I sit and I work and breathe through the negativity that I feel inside, so I'm at peace no matter what. That is the mindful state, right? No matter how negative somebody is in the room, I can stay grounded and at peace. That is your work to do. Okay, so accept, the first option. Second option is change something. You always have an option to clean, do ho'oponopono. If negativity, I know many people like this, if negativity comes into their reality through negative news or somebody's in the hospital, they immediately go and do their ho'oponopono. So you get to clean it from yourself, you get to clean it from the world, you get to clean it from planet Earth, from other people. So you do the ho'oponopono. What is going on in me that's causing this experience in the world? I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you for releasing this from the world. Thank you for releasing this negativity from the world. So you can change the world by allowing negative news to come to you, so you clean and clean until it's out of the earth itself. This is the second thing, change. You can also create a new friend circle of people who genuinely love spiritual topics, and you can talk with them without any judgment. So you love and accept your current friend circle just the way that they are, and then create another circle where you can discuss all of these other things as well. Okay, if even if they're talking about the most doom and gloom thing, it cannot affect you if you have conscious control over your own thoughts and your own emotions. It can only affect you if you judge them, if you judge what they're talking about, and then you take the suffering of it. Otherwise, nothing has any power over you. Even if they're discussing the most diabolical thing, you can still be in alignment and peace and still be in the same room. Your internal state is totally up to you and your choice of it. This brings me to the third option, which is leave. Eckhart says, accept, change, or leave. If you can leave that family situation or leave that friend situation, totally perfectly fine. Nobody's sticking you there and telling you can't leave. If you can leave, get up and leave and start on a different journey. But do not judge them. Love them exactly where they are. Trust their life and their higher self, because of their own specific soul journey. They will find their way. Okay, and I'll end this whole thing with one story. Back in 2020, I had just spent 11 months teaching this course called Magic Morning Manifestation Club. And during that 11 months, we had tens of thousands of success stories, miracle stories, especially around health, where doctors told them they can't do something, they reversed conditions. It was insane. I'm talking about tens of thousands of insane miracle stories. Now, you and me, we may come from a world where we're constantly surrounded by law of attraction, success, 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 success. This is our world. But outside of our world, most people live in the other side. They have no idea that this many miracles can be created. They don't live in the same world as we do. So they don't even know. They don't know. So back in 2020, in December, I went for a New Year's party. 11 months before that, I was completely drowning in the successes of magic and miracles, law of attraction, all of these things. And I go for this party, and the women there have collected, and they're talking about all the darkness that has happened over the year, how this person is in the hospital, how this person's medicine is failing, how this person's liver is failing, this person. And I was sitting there so far apart from everyone, because I've just lived this whole year full of like pure miracles, healing, healing, healing. And then there are these people who've not lived from the same world. And initially I was getting very angry, saying, why are these people living in such darkness when the power to create is right there? I wanted to slap everybody, wake them up and be like, hello, shut up and get out of your heads and create something amazing. But then that was judgment on my part. And I said, Kartika, sit your ego down. And you love them. And here is what I did. So I acknowledged them. I told them, I acknowledged what they were sharing. I said, yes, I understand how tough it can be. But I then put my perspective. I'm not telling them what to believe. I embrace what they said. But then I said, but here is what I have seen over the research that we've done, over the experimentation that we've done, and this is what results we've got, and this makes me believe this and this and this about health, this and this and this about career and money and the economy. So this is my perspective. And some people took that perspective and wanted to know more. It was time for them to learn, and they asked me, okay, tell me more about the work that you do. And some people, it wasn't their time. So what they do, they just continued with a different topic. But I did not suffer, and I even led by example, and I showed a few people that path, and now they're following their own spiritual path. Either way, it's not our job to teach them, but you can still put your perspective using a better way. You acknowledge them, you don't judge them, you don't say, oh, you guys are so unconscious. You put your perspective, and then you end with something positive like, yo, but this is just what I want to say, but I also understand where you guys are coming from, because they're coming from their experiences. It's only you and me who is sitting and experiencing this many constant success. Not everybody is going through that journey, so it's not our path to judge them, but just lead by example. So they'll look at you and then they'll want to know what you're doing. So having said that, I will end this video. Please click here somewhere to go and watch few more of these videos to stay empowered. And if you like this kind of video, please like this, if you like this kind of life advice, if you know someone who needs this, please share this with them. And of course, if you genuinely want to check out more of what I do, please subscribe to this channel and comment below, what did you take back from today's sharing? Was it the first point, which is do not create a spiritual ego? Was it the second point, which is everyone has their own timeline of awakening? Or is it the third point, which is Eckhart Tolle's, either you can accept, either you change the situation, or you quit, you leave, okay? Choose one of them. Suffering is not one of the options. Judging them is not one of the options. You just have 3 options. So let me know which, if this video even helped you, please let me know. If it did, what did you take back? Please comment below. I love you and I look forward to seeing you in another video. And namaste.